back to words of Grandma. Grandma, words of the Great Depression she lived in. That's back in 1929. My grandma warned me of that coming depression, not out of fear, but as to prep. So I prepped much in the natural, and then nothing happened. So welcome to 2020. With a worldwide pandemic, I then saw the depression with its shortages and job loss. I believe she was really talking about the souls of humanity. People in fear, being stuck isolated, not being able to work or even shop, locked in their own world of pain. In front of a box pushing out more and more of that same fear. So think, what was this fear that infects neighbors who may have known each other for years now start to distrust each other? To the point they even started to panic in the whole neighborhood. All I saw was masks everywhere, and the look of fear and anger filled the very hearts as they walked. This shows how broken our souls really are. This is why all the training as a nurse. Grandma, too, she was a nurse, and told me before even going to grammar school, I was going to be one too. My nursing had stages. I first started as a ventilator nurse, with patient care focused on helping many to breathe again on their own. One patient was Michael. He was on a vent, who never left his bed, showing his spirit reached everyone around him, and how one person, regardless of disability, can touch the world. Then, as an ICU nurse, I saw miracles in that room, full of critical care patients with tubes, existing out of nowhere, everywhere are these tubes. Now they were walking out of that very ICU room. Then an emergency room nurse, where focus on life and death decisions were every day, where CPR was always a real possibility. I saw teamwork, working in unity, where one life was worth the work. My heart would lean towards the pandemics, because I studied on those. Why? Because pandemics, my great-grandmother was buried at that same hospital from the 1918 pandemic. And that very ground, this hospital was 100 years old. So, then as a rehab nurse, I stayed hopeful and encouraged patients and their families that they can overcome. Just because you're in a rehab doesn't mean you have to stay there. Doesn't mean you have to stay in a mind of disability. So I worked also as a wound nurse under a wonderful specialist. And while working in the hospital, at that time, she showed me how wound care can make a difference. I saw a person that wasn't allowed to eat due to such a gunshot wound, and he had so many holes. And I saw healing, each of those holes being filled. Yes, this person healed totally, so he was able to eat again. I saw on so many levels of nursing now being applied to the broken soul. God does heal the broken soul. And where we stand in obedience, He can make you whole. He can fill in those holes and make you walk in joy again and victory so you can breathe again. All these things can be yours. Have faith. God makes a difference. So, words of Grandma still touch me.